Jump to the next scene. Kick the door in.
Shine the spotlight in the quietest corner.
Jump from pillar to pillar, if you can make it. And don't just slog along. These are 5 different ways to keep campaigns fun by keeping sessions fun. My name is Timothy, though some people do call me Tim. Especially the players in my 7 weekly D&D games, probably because they rarely remember names.
Why even bother giving them to the NPCs?
Because even though they don't care, they'll still ask you just to make sure that you're prepared.
Brats. What were we doing? Oh yeah, jumping to the next scene. A Chris Perkins tip: when the action lulls or lingers too long in one place and tension has bled away, just announce the beginning of the next scene. Push forward to the next moment of action. If conversation with a shop vendor is dying down but not really ending, just announce, after completing your shopping, you're on your way to the next dungeon when sometimes you'll get interrupted. Wait, I want to pick up 3 potions of healing before we left. That's okay, just resolve it in summary and keep pressing forward. Just the fact that you keep pressure on by trying to move forward will help distill your gameplay down to the good bits. And it will help people to clarify their desires for the scene that you're trying to leave, helping them wrap it up. But sometimes when you move from one scene to the next, you need to do so a little less gently, by kicking in the door with a bugbear. It's all well and good to move the story from one step to the next step, but sometimes the place that you're going is no more exciting than the place that you've left behind. That's when complications that drive action come in. Switching from a slow scene into sudden action or into a dilemma that drives action immediately ratchets the excitement at the table. The door kicking in bugbear is the simplest example, of course. But you can also see this effect in a distant scream for help, a jump scare moment, or any reminder of your adventure's ticking clock. Put pressure on your players to act to break them out of a slow scene. And alternate frequently between slow deliberation and fast action, because the change of pace and tension is what hooks players into the game. Speaking of changing pace and tension, don't forget to change which pillar you're focusing on frequently too. We've all had games where one player or another has sunk into the background, uninterested in the action at hand. And that, in part, is because every player enjoys their game differently. Not everyone at the table is going to be there for lighthearted scenes of social interaction, nor is everyone there for the gritty combat, or matters of discovery and exploration. But everyone will be there for some combination of the 3. If you want a campaign full of happy and engaged players, you need to switch between these pillars of play fast and frequently, or even mix them together into the same scene. Add a mysterious machine to investigate that could end the combat that the rest of the group are focused on, or hint at tensions between 2 monsters that could be exploited to turn them against one another. And see if those players that check out of your combats don't just bite. You might even be surprised with how much it lights up your players that you thought were satisfied with fighting that monster of the week. Few DMs actively want to exclude players at their tables. If your DM is one of those, run. But we've all heard the horror stories of a DM that focuses their attention upon 1 or 2 players to the detriment of everybody else at the table. Honestly, it can be an easy trap to fall into. If 1 or 2 players are the ones speaking up, then they're the ones who are going to get the attention, right? But to keep your game engaging and fun, you need to be sure to turn the spotlight to the quietest parts of the room on a regular basis. Highlighting the character of the player who is least involved is a great way to choose the star of the next scene. Perhaps an NPC might take interest in the opinion of that quiet character, or their action in combat might have an unexpected consequence that they can capitalize on. They might even spot something that others have missed while they're standing back outside the action as others explore. Regardless of how you go about it, drawing in the least engaged is rarely a bad call, because the engaged folk are already there, and most of them will just feed off the added energy of bringing more people into the action. But the ones on the sidelines will stay there until they get the opportunity to move to the forefront. And sometimes you have to be the one to create that opportunity for them. But no one is going to have any energy in your scenes if it just keeps going on and on forever and ever. Especially not a combat scene. Which is one problem that hits a lot of tables hard. Combat doesn't end until everyone's dead. I have a video worth checking out about how to make combat more exciting and engaging, but the principle here applies to all scenes, not just combat. Don't let a scene drag on when it's clear what its conclusion is. If you do, you're basically guilty of what you're trying to avoid having your players do in our first tip today. If the group have screwed up the consequences, don't linger waiting for them to try again and again to turn it around. Just move to the consequences. If they've killed the big bad and all that's left are little minions, have them flee or surrender or die with him. If they've discovered the secret door, open the darn thing. Don't make scenes into pedantic slogs that require the players to spell out every little detail. Wrap them up when the conclusion is obvious and move them to the next scene so that it stays fresh. But of course, it won't matter how fun your campaign is if it isn't designed to last. Lots of campaigns die because they aren't plotted to go the distance. Which is why you should check out this next video, which teaches the 3-plot method for creating campaigns that will last while my cats stare into your soul. See you there.
What you got there?